Alrighty, y'all. So, day 78. Back and biceps today. Like normal, we're going to start with our deadlifts. But today, our talk is going to be on a new piece of gym equipment I got. So, I wouldn't quite consider it like actual equipment, but it is a lifting assistance. And it is VersaGrips Pro. So, last back day I tried using my normal straps to wrap up into the dumbbells to do dumbbell shrugs with, and they were a super pain. But I was able to perform another 50% of rep volume. I went from 17 to 18 reps to 30 reps. So strapping up for something where your grip strength is going to fatigue is apparently going to be quite beneficial. So I've been just leaving gains on the table. But problem with that is normal straps don't fit in dumbbells. Like, it's a super pain in the butt to get strapped into them, especially when you're doing it with the offhand that's already, when you only have one to use. So we're going to test these out, see how I like them, see what the quality of them are, and if they're worth the very pricey price tag that comes with them. They are like 90 bucks. So we will find out. That'll be later into this. But for now, let's go ahead and get our deadlift session started and get to it. Woo! 365 today feels insanely heavy. Holy cow. Well, I think with that, I'm going to just try to pull 365 again. Because moving up isn't going to give us any benefit at all. So, feel a little tightness and everything, really. I wonder if that's because I kind of binged last night. I had some candy, unfortunately. And I do feel a little just tight and like everything just feels inflamed and stiff today. But it is what it is. It could also be, for the most part, being in a deficit still. I might have had some candy, but I think only had like 2,100 calories yesterday, so. But, quick little rest, and then we'll pull 365 again. Boy, oh boy. Well, 3 by 365 is our top set today. Feels pretty good for not pulling multiple reps at anything above like 275 now for a few weeks. It's just been singles. Just trying to pump that like maximum weight up. But 365 for 3, pretty solid. Boy, oh boy. I think maybe we'll start shooting for a little maintenance, a level of lifting here, where we're going to try to hit this for 4 next week, 5 the week after. Start building a little more stamina and base at this weight level. And see if that makes it a little easier for us to consistently maintain that 405 and break that 420 barrier. So I think that's going to be the training path for that, especially as we try to finish up this deficit period. And then after that, we got to start eating again. So it'll be nice adding, 500 calories back to my daily intake, getting me up to that 1,900-ish, maybe 2,000 calorie range. Probably shoot for 2,000 calories, truthfully. So that's going to be, I think we'll be able to maintain sitting at 2,000 calories. And then if I need a little more oomph to get through the workouts, we'll bump up 2,100, 2,200, see how it goes. But I think that's going to be our upcoming plan since today's day 78. So we got 12 days, 12 more days. We know we have 3 rest days in that period. So really 9 more workouts at this level of deficit, which definitely can't wait for those to be over. But let me go ahead and get this unracked out of the way. Then we'll get into our back day and start trying these Versa grips and see if they're really worth the money. Alrighty, so just put the new grips on. I will say, first wear, like everything else, you know, they're definitely stiff, tough feeling. The pads aren't really broken in yet, all that. So that's very noticeable. The wrist sizing, I followed the Reddit pages and everything. When I looked them up, they said size down if you're like in the middle of the range or at the bottom of the range. So like you're going to measure your wrist around. It's going to give you a number. For example, like it's 7 to 8, right? Mine measured 7.5. So I sized down a size to the one that's at 6 to 7. And they're actually perfect. So they end right on the ends. They still have a little bit of more room here to actually tighten up a smidgen. So they are supposedly supposed to fit a little loose. They are a smidgen loose where I have them right now. So let's go ahead and try to put these things into the dumbbells and see how they feel and hit a set of shrugs. Since this is probably going to be one of the most noticeable movements using something like this, it's going to be something that you're pulling, lat pull downs, shrugs, something like that, where your hands are always going to tire out first. So okay. So I'm kind of feeling out here how you have to move your hand, kind of like a snake almost, to like walk the weight into it. But feels nice and solid, easy to grip. My hands are even a little sweaty. All right, so 100%, that makes a massive difference right off the rip. I have no real forearm pump, no bicep engagement just from trying to squeeze and hold the weights. Fingers and grip strength, not fatigued at all from trying to hold those. So, as of right now, they do exactly what they're supposed to do. So, it is a little weird, and I'm going to say it's just because I'm not used to them yet. Trying to feed that around, and like, you can't just rock your hand around it like you would your normal strap. You kind of have to like work it down it like a snake almost. But once you're holding them, they are there. They are not leaving. Even when I just try to let them go just now, until this kind of breaks this flat edge and gets up like that, it doesn't even want to come out of this upper part of your palm. So they, whatever this material is, it is very, very grippy. So, now plus side is I don't see any marks instantly of the knurling digging into this. So, we're going to have to assume this is pretty durable, because the knurling in my dumbbells is actually pretty aggressive. if I use like a normal set of fabric straps, like even if they're brand new, on that first couple times it'll start to like fray out the edges. So that's really good. I like that. Now, I do feel like this pad here could be a little wider, but we'll see what happens as they kind of break in. It might feel a little more comfortable, but first workout down with them feels great. So I'm gonna knock out a couple more sets of this, and then we'll go into like lat pull downs, see how it feels with those, being up nice and wide, seeing if it helps take out that engagement, how comfortable it is with thumbs on the same side versus thumbs wrapped around, and see how it goes. Alright, so exercise test number 2, lat pull downs. A lot of gyms are going to have some sort of rubbery coating or something out here, or like this texture grip shit. So we're going to find out how sticky it is wrapped around that stuff, and if it affects it at all on the way that it grips into your hands and your palms. So let's find out. So it does feel, it grips nice, but it does take a little bit here to try to get used to the way they wrap around, because this bar is way fatter than the dumbbell handles. It's actually a little harder to get locked in on it. But now that I'm locked in, that definitely isn't going anywhere. Alright, well, we can also pull more reps on the lat pull down. I'm not trying to focus on just squeezing and holding that weight. I have 0 forearm pump, and engagement. Biceps, obviously, secondary, but even those have basically zero activation compared to what it has been when actually gripping this bar to hold the weight. My lats already feel much more pumped up. One, because of more reps, but two, the targeting on them actually feels much more like pinpointed. So I think so far they're just about justifying their cost. If I'm going to get more reps, higher quality reps, and more muscle activation, there's not much that can hit all three of those when it comes to a gym accessory. So that as long as these things last a while, I don't think they're going to be able to be beat for dollar per gain. Let's break it down that way. Because, I mean, like, you got your supplements, obviously, right? You know, like your BCAAs, EAs, your creatine, your pre-workout. Maybe you have a pump product you're taking. Maybe you're taking carnitine. Maybe, you know, whatever else you could be stacking on there. I don't know much other than those in general. All of that stuff, its price per gain made isn't even going to come close to matching that. Because $80 is like one tub of protein, 1.5 things of pre-workout, and those might add 1 or 2 reps to a workout versus adding 50% of my sets. Because dumbbell shrugs were 17 to 20 reps, banging out 30s now because of the no arm fatigue and no wasted energy. Lat pull downs is normally like 8 to 10. I don't know how many that was, but at least 18, probably closer to 20. So there is nothing I can think of that's going to double your usable working movement. So if you're not using some sort of strap, you are 100%, without a doubt, leaving gains on the table and wasting your time and energy on just holding the weight. So that feels good. So we'll knock out one more set here, and then we'll go into seated rows as our next test movement. And if that knocks it out there, I mean, we're sold. So there isn't much more after that you can really test. I mean, other than that, the only thing that you're really going to use, grip strength for on like a back arm bicep days, maybe a pronated curl to where the weight's trying to pull down out of your hand. Your forearm does get pretty tired from that, but you're trying to target that brachialis. So at the same time, that may not be bad usage of energy to get some extra engagement in the forearm and really improve that grip strength, trying to hold that weight while hitting that curl. So that may be a little more scientific than what we're shooting for here. All right, let me get switched around for seated rows, and we'll get into our last little grip test here. All right, so while I'm at this, I will say these are incredibly annoying when you're trying to switch around your attachments and stuff, and they're just constantly kind of like half in the way, half not in the way. So adding weight, taking away weight, switching attachments, searching for songs on your phone, incredibly frustrating while these are on. So take that with a grain of salt. Great for your movements and getting everything out of them. Going to add some time and a little bit of pain in the ass on the in-between set stuff. So let's, I don't want to leave that out as I'm sitting here going through it. So, but exercise number 3, grip test number 3. Let's find out how this does here. So, well, as for being locked in, and now on a movement where my hands are fairly sweaty by now, I would have a crazy forearm pump trying to hold these. But I don't really have much extra pump and engagement in the forearms on these. Back engagement, about the same for this movement. But I did get an extra 2 or 3 reps over normal with the tempo I'm currently using. So it is saving some on the energy expenditure part of having to hold the weight. But as for this movement and the way I do it and feel for it, you might see a 5 or 10% increase. So, still a benefit, but I will say it is nice not having the hand fatigue I normally would, especially by this point in the workout. So, and the fact I've gotten extra reps on my shrugs, lat pull downs, this movement's already going to probably take a hit because I've already expended more energy and muscle fatigue before I've even got in here. So, hitting the same, well, a couple reps more than I normally would, that overall is probably being skewed by the extra fatigue the muscles already have by the time I'm doing this movement. So that's awesome. Let's go ahead and hit one more set of these, and we're going to go ahead and move into biceps. Ooh. Woo. All right, well, with that I feel as though the price of these may be expensive for sure, but just off of the way these three movements felt today, and I'm in a big deficit, these are going to pay off massively in the long run, especially when I get to go back into maintenance and I have the extra energy to really start pushing it hard, and my muscles aren't going to fatigue so quickly, and the weights are going to get heavier, where my grip strength becomes massively my issue in progressing. I ain't going to have that problem. I'm pretty sure if you don't open your fingers and they're just resting here like this thing is never coming out of your hand. The grip it has feels crazy. So I'm certain you'll run into an injury before your grip strength runs up at this point. So with that, I'm going to get set up to do some bicep work, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so today we're just going to do some straight sets on curls, no supersets, nothing fancy here. I'm thinking we're going to start with the 25s for some normal dumbbell curls. 6 to 8 rep sets, but I want to jump up 5 pounds a set and see how much we can get here on these free weight curls. If I can get to 35s, complete 8, that's already a plus. If we can grab the 40s and do some curls and not have some crazy wrist pain and elbow pain, or should I say bicep insertion issues, we'll be excited. Chasing me. All right, so 35's down. Now to try 40s. I can't remember the last time I actually curled 40 pounds. Because I want to say it's at least been a decade. As crazy as that is. Because this wrist and elbow has given me so much issues ever since I broke it. Even coming near this has been an issue. I haven't been able to successfully curl 35s until recently. So, if we can curl these right now with no real pain, we're making some progress. Feels tender. Feels tender. Not like injured pain, but it does feel like it's going to be a little inflamed and a bit tender for the next couple days. But we got a set of 40s, so I'm excited about that. So we're going to go ahead and go into some lighter single arm stuff now. Keep the load off the wrist. And we'll be done for today after that. So let me get set up for that. I'll bring y'all back. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do some single arm cable pleature curls here. Just to get some consistent tension all the way through the range of motion. Versus dumbbells where it's lighter here, heaviest here, type of thing. Just going to look for failure. Woo! All right. That's going to do it for today. They feel cooked. Tendon's getting a little tender and sore. Wrist is feeling a little sore from that load. But overall, good workout day. Kind of sucks we weren't able to push the weight up in the deadlift, but we did increase volume. So either way, we got more out of it. Curls, we curled a weight we haven't touched in 10 years. I'm excited about that. So see how the wrist feels. It might take a while for that to be a consistent thing, but the fact I was able to do it once now means I can work into it. So That's what matters, guys. A little bit at a time. But, so that's my review on Versa grips and actual usages that I am going to use them for, in my opinion, on how they work, how they feel, and the way it's going to benefit me, and the things that kind of annoy me with them. So I do wish the padding was a little better, but I guess it is what it is. But with that, guys, make sure you're working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.